Moin Leute, wieder am Start. So, in one of my last videos, we talked about the top 31 craziest strategies for VGC Series 13, and today we are gonna talk about 31 of the most spiciest strategies for you to try out. First of all, I already spoiled this, so let's get it out of the way. Magirna, Victini, Victini, right here. So you can give this guy Choice Scarf, and then Final Gambit. Final Gambit. So that you can get a kill and 2 Pokemon die, which activates Magina's Soul Heart twice. And then you can go for either Trick Room or for Shift Gear, for Speed Control, and then Dynamax and Sweep. It's as simple as this. So the reason I wanna get this out of the way, because actually 2 people suggested me this. I have been talking to my homies about potential strategies, and we have come up with some crazy stuff, so make sure to watch till the end when I find out about those. First of all, I want to explain why this is good, right? You don't even have to 1 max speed on the Victini. I don't know how much you exactly need, like maybe something like this, I guess. And you can give it max HP, because Victini got more HP than most of the meta game. If you look at the HP, the most HP in this meta game, and then obviously we see a lot of Pokemon that don't really get used. And then look at this. Center Scorch, 1 shot. Rillaboom, 1 shot. Suicune, 1 shot. Urshifu, 1 shot. Celesteela, Corviknight, 1 shot. Incineroar, 1 shot. You can 1 shot like Incineroar, Rillaboom, and all of the like broken mythicals or whatever, let's say Zacian. They also all don't have 100 HP, so you can 1 shot all of those anyway. So this is gonna be quite tough to beat, because you need to like either double up on the Victini, which means it could just Dynamax and go for like a Max Flare or whatever, right? Or you have to Dynamax and then you still like take like over 50%, which means Magina can easily kill you after speed control, right? Oh yeah, one strategy, Melmetal, and then you give it double Iron Bash. So this gives you a 51% chance to flinch the opponents, right? Pair this for Oranguru and Obstruct. Oh, not Obstruct, sorry, Instruct. And then you have a 51% chance to flinch twice, and then if this guy King's Rock, you are set. So this is actually what Jan used, only he didn't use King's Rock, he also used it against me. Next up, another one. If you really want to flinch Jirachi, obviously Jirachi isn't the best like Pokemon overall, but I have some more strategies in mind as well. You can give this guy Iron Head, like 60% flinch chance. Pair this with like a Thunder Wave, Grimstar and King's Rock, they're gonna be golden. But what Phantom actually looked up, if you Dynamax your Jirachi, you still have like a 10% chance to flinch because of the King's Rock. I'm actually not sure if this gets affected by Serene Grace as well. Let's see. No, I don't think it will work with Serene Grace as well. But you still can flinch even if you are Dynamax, so that's gonna be quite nice. Let's see what other strategies are there. Yeah, I think this was most strategies for my friends. Let's see, actually, was it? Oh yeah, another idea actually from Jan. We already have Melmetal. We can use it Speed Swap, right? So you can use Speed Swap like Cardiac Shadow, for example. I personally want to try out like Pheromosa with coaching, because what you can do, you can coach this bad boy up. You also have like Quick Guard to protect yourself, right? But then you can also give this guy like an Assault Vest and make it super bulky on both sides. So that's gonna be really nice. And also you get Icy Wind for speed control. Like I think Pheromosa is gonna be quite good in this format. Obviously you could also use Zamazenta if you wanna just go for coaching. But speed swap Pheromosa is gonna be really nice. Oh yeah, next up Obama Snow. One thing that's actually quite interesting is Mist for 5 turns. User protects party from stat drops. So this could be really good with like a Victini. But I have tested this, and unfortunately V-Create still lowers your stats. So another strategy that got suggested is Zarude, because Zarude Leaf Guard's ability prevents status if sun is up, right? So what I tried out is actually Groudon, and I gave Groudon a Choice Scarf and then Swagger. Unfortunately, Zawood still got paralyzed by the Swagger even though sun was up. So unfortunately, this strategy will not work. That is quite a shame. Okay, next up I got another quite crazy strategy. Alright, so what we can do is we can use Victini, right? And Victory Star makes our moves more accurate. And then I thought about, what are some not very accurate moves? Well, Zap Cannon. So you can use Eleki with a Zap Cannon. How strong is Zap Cannon? 120 base power, so it should turn into a really strong Dynamax move. And you can also have it next to Victini to get the guaranteed speed control because Zap Cannon is always gonna paralyze. And it is only 50% accurate, but with a boost from Victini you should always hit. Or what you can also do is Jirachi. And this is one strategy that I'm actually really proud of because this guy actually gets gravity and also grass type coverage. So what you can do is you can set up the gravity since you are faster than Pokemon like Groudon or Kyogre, right? So you can set up the gravity. Wait, where is it? Here, Jolly. And then you can go for like Specs, Origin Pulses, Choice Scarf or Choice Blended Pessimist Blades. You can go for 100% accurate Zap Cannons or Sleep Powders. And this guy also actually gets some really nice moves like Icy Wind or like, let's see, Fire Punch, for example, which is really nice. Thunder Wave also, if you wanna like, if you wanna go for the Para Flinch stuff. You can also give this guy a Trick Room as well. If you wanna put this guy on a like Trick Room team, or maybe if you wanna counter opposing Trick Room, since this guy also gets imprisoned. Right, you can do a lot of stuff with this guy. So I feel like gravity is actually the thing that makes Jirachi viable. So I'm pretty excited to use this. Next up, another really bad mythical Pokemon that I think is gonna have some viability. Weakness Policy. Celebi, because you get Baton Pass, right? So why do I think this is gonna be good? Well, this guy actually gets Trick Room, and this is one of the only Pokemon that can instantly kill himself, right? Because you can give it either Healing Wish or like Baton Pass with like Weakness Policy, right? Because let's say Cardinal Shadow is gonna be in the lead, thinking they can knock out your Celebi. You just want loads of Spadef investment, I don't know how much actually, but the natural book is actually quite nice with Celebi. You can take the Astral Barrage and then go for Trick Room. And then let's say this guy is like really fast, you can get a slow Baton Pass off as well to guarantee you get a Pokemon in next turn. I mean, I would probably recommend like running Healing Wish, but Baton Pass could also be quite nice of this Pokemon. So I think this is what makes this Pokemon like good. I also thought about Parasong, but that's probably not gonna be the best in this format because the games are gonna be so fast paced. But maybe I will try to figure something out. Yeah, you can also go for like a really bulky like Life Do kind of set or Pollen Puff supporter, which is gonna be quite nice as well. So yeah, let's see who's next. Oh yeah, Zeraora. Another one that's probably not gonna fall off in usage quite fast. This guy actually gets quite some nice support moves, like Brick Break to break screens, Brutal Swing to activate potential policy on let's say Sluggerleo. So you could run for example Brutal Swing on weakness policy sets or coaching for like Assault Vest Sluggerleo sets. And also this guy gets Endeavor. So you can, since you're really fast, you can give this guy a focus sash, knock out like the Cardinal Shadow of the opponent for example, and then just Endeavor something. Next up, more Pokemon that aren't really that good. Mew, I don't know how good this will be, but this guy gets so many good moves. Think about EV Impulse, think about Will-O-Wisp. It also gets stored power if you wanna use it on a Baton Pass kind of team. It also gets Baton Pass, right? Yeah, it also gets Baton Pass. This guy also gets Endeavor. But the reason I would recommend using Mew on a Baton Pass team, right? Mew, obviously, Mew gets Transform, right? So you can use a Baton Pass team and then just transform into the one, let's say you Baton Pass into Crocodile, then you can give Mew like a Choice Scarf, and then you can transform into the Crocodile, and then you have another like Mon, right? That's gonna be quite nice. Alrighty, let's see what's next. Oh yeah, I played a bit around with After You, If you guys don't know, I actually got to like rank 13 on Pokemon Showdown using After You Aromatisse. I feel like Aromatisse is really solid because it's really bulky, and obviously with After You and a Trick Room, you can After You Pokemon like Zacian or Calyrex Shadow to make them really broken, to make them like move slower than, for example, Calyrex Ice of the opponent, so that way you can one-shot that bad boy with Zacian, for example, right? What you can also do is give this guy Misty Terrain, so that way you can block Spore from the opponent's Amunguses. You can also give it Fake Tears. You can also give it, um, what was it? Magic Code, for example. I wouldn't really recommend this, but it's quite a fine move, since you're already immune to Taunt with your Aroma Veil, right? What else did I think about? Oh yeah, you can also, this guy gets Trick Room, which is really nice because you can Trick Room up on Pokemon like Kyogre or Calyrex Shadow. There's actually another Pokemon that fills the same role pretty much. It's actually this guy. It is better because does get a Magic Bounce ability, but have in mind you are weak to Pokemon like Calyrex Shadow and Kyogre because you don't have that much special defense and HP. Aromatisse is way more bulky actually. This guy also gets after you, so you can give these guys like an Iron Ball if you want to, or you don't really need to because they're at 29 speed. And then you can have your Zacian beat their opposing Caltex Ice, you can have your, I guess, Torkoal beat their Melmetal, for example. I guess you don't really need to after you Torkoal, but I guess your Charizard beat opposing Melmetal, for example, right? This could be quite solid. I don't think this guy gets as many support moves as he does. He get Misty Terrain. He doesn't get Misty Terrain, for example, so you cannot block Spore from your partners, only on yourself. My friend Jan actually used this guy a lot. He got to like number 14 on Showdown, I think. Really good. Oh yeah, this guy also gets Safeguard or Skill Swap if you wanna mess around with this. Misty Explosion is also really nice because that way you can kill yourself after going for Trick Room. So I feel like these two Pokemon, I personally gonna use them a lot on my Trick Room teams because I need something that can deal with Spore Amoonguss, which is what a lot of players are gonna have on their team, as well as something like Palkia because you can just Moonblast or Draining Kiss them, or maybe even like Fake Tears, for example. So that's gonna be a really nice tool to deal with those. Oh yeah, next thing I want to talk about, I kind of have a team in mind where I use Trick Room, and what I actually want to talk about is Imprison. I feel like Imprison is gonna be really good in this format. One thing I want to talk about is Calyrex Shadow. You can put this guy on a Sun team, give it like a Focus Sash, and then obviously Astro Barrage, and then you can give it either Protect, depending on if you wanna like. Let's for now put in Protect. You can also put in Will-O-Wisp if you wanna imprison Will-O-Wisp. That way your Groudon, for example, cannot get burned. And then Trick Room. So this means you can either use it to set up your own Trick Room, or you can use it to imprison opposing Trick Room teams. It's gonna be really nice. And also if you have this guy next to like Electri, for example, with Electro Web, you can imprison to make sure opposing Calyrex Shadow cannot go for Astro Barrage, and then you wall it basically, right? Which is gonna be really nice. I feel like this is gonna be really nice. Another thing that I thought about was actually imprison on Zacian. Because obviously Zacian is gonna be incredibly broken, right? Sacred Sword. And one thing that I wanna go over that also Jan used is actually like imprison and then protect Zacian on a Trick Room team, right? Because this means you can imprison, stop the opponents from going for protect, and also if you imprison like before they're opposing Zacian, they cannot touch your Calyrex Shadow, Calyrex Ice because they cannot Behemoth Blade, thus making Zacian useless. And Zacian is probably one of the best Pokemon to counter Trick Room, especially if Trick Room runs out. So you can, for example, install your own Trick Room, go for Imprison, and when the last Pokemon Zacian, which I thought could beat you after Trick Room runs out, cannot beat you anymore because you imprisoned it, right? And also, like I said, you can imprison Protect, so the best way to beat Trick Room is pretty much to outstall it. This is what most pro players are gonna do. So you can just imprison with Protect, have this guy next to an After You mon, obviously, right? Like, wait, Amoonguss gets After You as well? Wait, what, is this true? Sheesh. So you can give Amoonguss After You as well, and then your Zacian will all of a sudden outspeed, or underspeed, I guess, and then you can imprison, like I said. Dude, Amoonguss gets After You? I didn't know. What the hell? Is this true? I don't think it gets it in series like 12 or 13. I think that's not correct. Yeah. I was about to say, like, I would have known about this. Like, okay. Next up, I want to go over more after you shenanigans. So for this, I will have a replay, which I will show you. For some reason, I couldn't send myself a replay, so now we'll look at it from my phone. So basically, the idea is after you, right? But what do I mean by this? Let's just watch it. Let's just watch. See what happens. Oh, I skill swap myself prankster. Interesting, interesting. But now what? I'm switching Carnifex Ice, okay. I get my weakness policy activated. Okay, but what am I doing with prankster Diancie? What the hell could I be doing with prankster Diancie? Oh wait, after you get boosted by prankster. The idea is you have Diancie. This can be any other Pokemon with after you. Reason I choose Diancie is because I think this one is actually quite good with one of my strats, which I will go over why later. So basically after you, and then use Meowstic to skill swap the Prankster ability to Diancie, and then after you is actually Prankster boosted. So this actually means that you can have your own Pokemon move with priority, with after you. This is insane, boys, like insane. So what you can also use with this guy, you can use Trick Room, you can also use Fake Out to support with Trick Room. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way for this guy to get off a field, since he doesn't seem to get like Volt Switch or like something that can like kill himself, like Misty Explosion or something. He does also get Misty Terrain and Safeguard, which is gonna be quite nice if you wanna be safe against those damn Spore Amoonguses. Can also give us a guy like Sunny Day, Fake Tears. Obviously, Meowstic is gonna be great in this format. Better, I think this guy is gonna be better than Grimmsnarl, but who cares, right? So next up, what you can also do, give Diancie. Doesn't this guy, yeah, Safeguard as well. I'm actually not sure if you're slower than Among Us if you give this guy like 0 speed and an Iron Ball. Actually think you are. Unfortunately, I do not have a 0 speed Diancies in game. I have like 3 Diancies and all of them have max speed, which sucks, bro. Like if this guy has 49 and when you go to Among Us, this guy with 0 speed, like minus, like let's just give him a brave nature. So this guy is gonna be 58, wait, level 50. So this guy's gonna have 31 speed, but 49 divided by 2 is gonna be lower than 31. Unfortunately, we have 31 EVs and then so we divide 63 by 2. I think it's like, I think we are like 1 point faster. I've calculated it already, but I forgot the exact math. But yeah, quite unfortunate for me. But maybe someone can like borrow me a 0 speed Diancie so I can make the rental code. But this is gonna be quite nice. Diancie also gets other support moves like Fake Tears, which Carving actually doesn't get. So Carving doesn't get like Fake Tears. Look, doesn't get Fake Tears. Don't think it. Oh, it does get after use. Maybe you should use Carving after all. Does it get Safeguard? It does get Safeguard. I mean, you're honestly probably better off just using a Carving. Let's see what else does this guy get. So, Mystical Fire though. Carving doesn't get Mystical Fire, I think. Okay, Carving doesn't get Mystical Fire. Let's see, so you can use Mystical Fire, Fake Tears, you can use Charm as well. So that way you can lower your opponent's stats and also like go for the after you. Right? Does this guy get Charm? This guy also gets Charm, okay. There must be something that this guy gets that Carving doesn't. I don't think this guy gets Gravity. This guy gets Gravity. Don't use the Diancie, guys. If you do, I will probably use the Mystical Fire Diancie. Okay, let's go over some more strategies. Unfortunately, the Yancy is just gonna be complete and utter garbage, which is quite a shame, but I also unfortunately found out that if you use Fling, the item that you Fling doesn't get to the Pokemon, right? So I was talking about Fling Jirachi actually, with like a Macho Bears or something, and you can still do it to activate the policy on Calyrex. The funny thing is, you will still be slower in Trick Room, but this also means that Calyrex doesn't get the item afterwards. But what I found out is actually one guy was using Marshadow, and he gave Marshadow coaching. And I think actually Marshadow is probably the best Pokemon ever to use if you wanna run coaching. So I would absolutely recommend running coaching Marshadow. This guy also got some other support moves like Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Sneak if you wanna activate Weakness Policy or even Sucker Punch, right? This guy also gets Rock Tomb, which is also boosted by Technician, which I'm a really big fan of. Yeah. So Marshadow is gonna be quite busted with a coaching set. I can't wait to try this out, honestly. I think this is probably the Marshadow set that I will use. Actually, no, I will probably still use this Vega set first with like Choice Scarf. But this is also really another really good strategy. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about this. So Marshadow with a Choice Scarf outspeeds Eleki. And then you can pair this guy up with like a Grimmsnarl, Swagger the Eleki, still get +2 attack boost, and then kill with Special Thief. It also works with Zacian. You can outspeed and one-shot Zacian, you just have to get the Swagger off obviously, and then you have a +3 attack, which is gonna be quite nice. So I cannot wait to use Marshadow. I'm probably gonna use both sets since both sets are pretty fun. Oh yeah, I got one more strategy that I found on the ladder. So Zeraora with a Choice Scarf next to Regieleki with Explosion, because this means after one like Plasma Fist, the Explosion turns into an electric type move, and then you can give this guy like a Choice Band or maybe like a Life Orb, right? And then Explosion is gonna turn into a really strong move. So you can use this to weaken your opponents. And then what I would recommend is using something like Choice, like Cardiac Shadow for Choice Specs, or maybe a Choice Scarf Kyogre. So that way you can clean the game from there on out. And also beat those damn ground types. Oh yeah, another funny thing actually, more of a meme strategy is gonna be Trivachi skills. So you can skill swap your Melmetal, so that way like your punch moves get stronger, which don't think that will be good. But you can then give your Melmetal Serene Grace, which could be quite fun if you wanna flinch stuff down. And then you can give this guy Speed Swap as well, or you can Speed Swap, actually not this guy, but you can use another one with Speed Swap and Speed Swap the Melmetal. Alrighty, do I have more strategies? Yes, actually. Yes. So I was talking about how Celebi could actually be quite nice with Trick Room, because then you can use Trick Room and kill yourself. Well, you can also use Mew, give Mew like Teleport, or yeah, Teleport. Oh yeah, next up, another strategy that I found out that this could be quite interesting, or I figured, I guess. So you can give Amungus Sunny Day, so that way, let's say Kyogre switches in, you can Sunny Day up, and then you can still go for like eruptions with Torkoal, for example, right? And also, obviously, you can spore opposing Palkias and Kyogres, which is gonna be quite helpful for the Trico matchup. Next up, Magina. This guy actually gets Power Swap. So this means if you get like to +10 attack or Magina, you can also like for example go for like Shift Gear, get attack boosts, for example, right? I mean, you shouldn't really go for it. I think you can then power swap your partners. What you also can do is you can give this guy Fluke Cannon. I actually back in the day before I like was good at Pokemon, I used to play a bit of Ubers. Like when I started playing Pokemon, before I really got into competitive, I actually got to like 1500s in the Ubers tier, which I think it was. I never was on the ladder, but I think it was close to like the ladder, right? So like I used Fluid Cannon and Power Swap Magina, which is really funny because this way you can check Xerneas and then reverse sweep, or you can Fluid Cannon and then Power Swap to your opponents, which is gonna be way better in a format like VGC where opponents aren't really switching, right? So you can use this set, for example, to deal with Tricum Palkia, for example, right? And you can also Power Swap other boosted Pokemon if you wanna give this guy a Focus Sash, for example, which I would not recommend, but hey, why not, right? Last but not least, Volcanion. This guy gets haste. Best beginner counter in the game, period. One more strategy. One Pokemon that I haven't really looked at actually is Keldeo. Because I think Keldeo is just bad with forward. But one thing that this guy does get is loads of speed and then flip turn. So you can use this to activate your weakness policy. Oh wait, on Pokemon like Groudon or Ho-Oh, and then you can switch in something like Clefairy for damage reduction, right? Also, this guy gets Aqua Jet, so I don't think you wanna actually activate Colossal because Urshifu can do this way better. But what Urshifu cannot do is Flip Turn, so I would recommend using Flip Turn. I don't think this guy. Oh, this guy gets coaching too. I mean, Urshifu also gets coaching, but this guy with coaching is gonna be way better, right? So you can use like Flip and Aqua Jet. I mean, you can also give us like a guy like Scald for damage, for example, right? So that way you can boost like Groudon and Ho-Ohs, for example, right? Let's see whatever moves this guy get. Let's get rid of Scald for now. Status. This guy is also gonna be quite nice with coaching. You can also give this guy Taunt if you wanna stop Trick Room from like Polygon 2, for example, or EV Impulse. You can also give this guy Sunny Day, so that way you can support like Groudon even further against the Kyogre matchup. Or I mean, I would probably recommend running Ho-Oh because when you have a Sunny Day, you can go for really strong moves and you can also live Water Sport, right? Because Keldeo is gonna be faster than Kyogre, so you can activate the Sunny Day and when when Ho-Oh will go crazy. I mean, Groudon is probably. I mean, you could just use Groudon and Ho-Oh on the same team because when Jirachi doesn't really mess you up, right? Like something like an Assault vs Groudon on this kind of team gonna be really nutty. Alright, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. My favorite strategy will by far be the after you Diancie strategy. I can't wait to use Diancie even though it's absolutely garbage. I think Marshadow is like a close third. After the gravity Jirachi, I think that's my second favorite strategy.